Welcome into Fantasy Unclean. I am your host, Rich Fiddler, joined as always by Scott Robley and Fredo Carvel. Gentlemen, it's been a few weeks. How are we doing?
It's been about a month.
It feels like
Close
a month.
to.
It's been,
Yeah,
I think it's right before you guys went on the
3
trip.
weeks that we skipped, I think.
Excellent hat, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, yeah, but by the time, because we were right after Christmas, so we were a few days after this before, and then we went to Disney World, spent an ungodly amount of money in Disney World.
Yep.
It was fun.
It's fun. Watch the coolest fireworks show.
Yeah, that was dope.
I've
That was
ever
the cool.
seen.
That was the coolest part about the whole thing.
And they do it every night. It wasn't
Yeah.
like a Saturday night special thing. It was like Wednesday. And
Well,
they're
when you
like,
make the type of money they make
my
a day there, they can do whatever the
God.
fuck they want.
And
Dude.
that's just based off the money they make off of pretzels.
yeah, right.
That's
right, no joke.
that's how they afford the fireworks.
This $1 million light show every night, that's just our pretzel money.
It was cool as shit though.
That's
I
our
bet
walking
they
around
do
money.
spend probably $100,000 a night on that show.
It's expensive. It's
Yeah.
expensive for sure.
Yeah.
Disney World, like the property that Disney has in Florida,
Yeah.
is bananas.
Yes.
Have you
It
been
is
there?
No.
gargantuan.
Amanda has.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she
Disney
just telling me about it.
Disney World, it's like 260 some.
She said it's
like,
mammoth. This looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so, it's like you can't even touch it all in a week.
No. You would have to.
They used to have their own airport.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I
It
think they're
was Disney Airlines. They used to fly in.
I think they're building another park there too. That's going to be opening in like 2025 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What other property do they have?
like I think it's going to be more along the lines of like a Universal Studios where it's got like roller coasters, so it's more geared towards an older populace
Yeah,
than
yeah.
just people with kids
Yeah, okay.
or Disney
They
adults.
should do something like a school bus thing where you can have a teacher with that runs a class basically that goes to different fast pass to each different ride. So
Yeah.
parents can go this way.
Yeah.
This kid can go this way. Bless
Yeah.
me, thank you.
It was cool. Universal Studios was dope. It's way better in Florida than it is in California.
I've never been the one in Cali.
I like the one in Cali.
It's cool.
And it was better in.
The Velocicoaster is fucking phenomenal.
That was the best ride I've ever been on in my life.
Yeah.
And it was the longest wait line that we had.
Yep.
And in most roller coasters, I don't want to wait 20 minutes for it. Like, I'll go, I'll wait, I'll do my time. But if there's an hour wait for something, I don't want to do it. We did an hour. I think it was like an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and a half for this one. Fucking worth it. Like, I almost wanted to get right back in line and do it again because it was the fastest. It was the spinniest. It was the most unexpected
Yeah.
roller coaster I've ever been on. And then in the middle of it, because it's one of those magnetic launchers, so
Yeah.
it just like gets you out of the game.
Yeah.
So in the middle of it, as you're going like full speed, it's just like you're just hammering along. There's another launch pad. that
And you don't
hit.
even come to a full stop.
Right,
It
so
just
it just-
launches you
all
more.
of a sudden you get boost mode,
Yeah.
and it just goes right through. It was insane. It was awesome.
The best one roller coaster I've ever been on was at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and it's X.
This is
X2?
better. We've been
It's
on that.
better than X?
Yes, it's
Better-
better than that.
Because that was the trippiest thing, like how...
It's different in the aspect that it's X2 does where it like fucking flips you around and
Yeah.
drops you in weird ways and that sort of thing.
That one's sick. That's my second favorite.
But
Actually, I might like what's that one up top that you kind of lit?
Tatsu
Tatsu.
was
I
cool.
like Tatsu.
Tatsu's really cool.
At Six Flags?
Yeah.
Let's see. Tatsu.
Tatsu's
Is that the one where you're laying down?
Yeah.
Where you strap in and you're laying down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Strap
go up
in
the
or
hill and
strap
then all of a
on.
sudden you're just staring directly at the ground like
Yeah.
like
Fucking
150
feet
foot.
up.
X tripped me out because you go up backwards.
Yes.
And then they fucking
And then
rotates
just-
you down.
and then, like,
Ah!
yeah, it face
And
directly
you're
at
like,
the ground.
we're gonna fall this way. We're gonna fall this way.
My
No, we're not.
favorite
We're
was
this
when
way.
it's barrel rolling and it spins, so it feels like it's trying to throw you away from the coaster.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's one where
That's a good one.
on the Velocicoaster where you come up and it like tricks you like you're gonna lean this way and then it flips you back the other way.
Like rapid.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
As it dives down towards water. So you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you feel like you're 2 feet off the water,
Yeah.
and it's like dive down and upside down and
Yeah.
spin, and yeah, that was the shit. That was That was my highlight of the week. Was Velocicoaster, followed by the fireworks show.
Then Harry Potter.
You know what? I gotta be honest with you guys. Disney princesses in person, fucking hot. Like, they're so.
What if they just
hot.
build a Amsterdam park and you get to go bang all the Disney princesses
Yeah, right.
that are adults?
I would. I think if I lived in the area, I think it'd be really fun to just get baked and go hang out. Like, I'd get an annual pass and just go hang out at the park.
So we're standing in line. We're standing in line at what was that? Was that the Transformer ride at Universal?
No, it was the it was the one we did with your dad and Hayden.
No,
that was Space Mountain. I think it was Space Mountain.
Was it Space Mountain?
I think so.
Okay. We're standing in line, and these two guys are trying to catch up to their group that were a little bit ahead of us.
Yeah.
And the first guy's like, "Excuse me, guys, sorry," and he steps by, and then all of a sudden, you just get this wave of weed.
Yeah, just full skunky,
and then like half a minute later, his buddy goes by, and Scott goes, "Dude, your friend just got me high by walking past me."
Yeah.
And it took him a second. He got like 3 people past him.
He
Stops, turns around, and just starts laughing.
He's like, "Wait, you can smell that?"
He was very baked.
Yes, they were all baked. That was when I was like, "That's the fucking move." And going to what was the one, not Expo, the one with the big globe. Epcot. Going to Epcot, Ashley and I went there. That would have been a much more fun place to go if she could have drank, because then we would have gone and just getting hammered every way.
Yeah.
That place is probably a trip, while, you know, a little bit high and drinking all day long. Like, that would be
And munchies
really
from
fun.
all over the world.
Monkeys from all over the world. Like, I had one of the best steaks I've ever had there, and it cost me literally $75 for the steak.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But it was worth it. And fuck, dude, it was a great trip. I'm going to Costa Rica now in a couple of weeks, and I still haven't recovered from. I may never financially recover from this movie, but from this month.
From Tiger King. I'm not going to financially recover from this.
So
I mean, Costa Rica is a lot less expensive.
yeah, it takes more money to get there.
Cruise or you're flying?
Flying. It takes more money to get down there, but we are. But my mom's paying for all the hotel stays, so that was cool, of course. But again, we booked this trip as well before Ashley was pregnant, and so Ashley now has to take a longer flight, and then she gets to go to an adventure jungle and do nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it makes her feel better, my first wife, my
Yeah.
girl's mom,
Yeah.
we were obviously married. We had one kid at the time,
Yeah.
and we had booked a 11-day Irish vacation
Yeah.
spanning St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah. Oh,
in Ireland.
Yeah, dude.
and she found out she was pregnant a month before.
Oh God, you just wish that you could have found that out a month after.
Yeah.
So that way you could have been like, "Oh my God, I didn't know."
It was an awesome trip, and that would be a fan. I want to go again.
Yeah, dude. I
Because
really
it was,
want to go.
I did not meet one mean person at all. I was part of a bachelorette party that I slightly remember. I know I was
dude.
missing my flannel and my hat at the end.
That's awesome.
But they legit do their bachelor and bachelorette parties a month before, and not asking them because they came in on like these satin, like traditional shit. And I'm like, we're like, why are you? Is it like this upcoming week? No, we all Irish. We always do it a month before. Why? He's like, in case we get fucked up or hurt.
That's smart.
It makes sense.
It makes
Smart.
sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I've always booked. We booked yours a month ahead of time.
Yeah.
I think you did
Yours
mine
was
ahead
a couple
of weeks at least.
Yeah. Because it was right at the beginning of September.
We've all seen The Hangover, and you
Yeah.
don't want that to happen.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a good couple of weeks off, but now now we're back to football. Frodo, how are
Yes.
the Dolphins doing?
Well, they went into the playoffs,
Sure did.
limped in.
Hey, we all made the playoffs.
We all made the playoffs.
We all made the playoffs.
Can we just talk about Pete Carroll not getting at least a nod on the Coach of the Year I mean, for fuck's sake, what does a guy have to do?
Beat the Niners.
Okay, the Niners get to make a Coach of the Year. That's fine. They should have GM of the Year. I don't know if Coach of the Year, but definitely GM of the Year. That Christian
pretty good.
McCaffrey move was a stroke of genius.
Yeah. Dolphins went in. We knew Tua wasn't going to play, so I did not have a lot of hopes.
Sure.
And they should have beat the Buffalo Bills. It was way fucking closer than I even had thought.
Yep.
And they were within 3 points, and they if it's not that fucked up on that fourth down thing,
Yeah.
I think we actually win the game.
Yeah, the Bills really fell apart at the end of the season.
And if Tua, I know for a fact, and even every analyst, if Tua had been in, the Dolphins have gone up to KC, and I think Dolphins going in KC.
We
but
talked
what
about
happened-
that. That was a much better matchup for.
I think the Dolphins would have been in the AFC Championship game against the Bengals, which would have been kind of retribution because Tua goes back to Cincinnati where the whole fucking concussion shit started.
Yeah.
yeah,
But Cincinnati looks good, so
yeah, Cincinnati does
Joe
look good.
Burrow, like when he's on, he's fucking on,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
When he's got the confidence going, like it is hard not to root for him. It is hard not to watch him just.
And
fucking-
I love that they fucking wiped the floor with the Bills.
yeah, they did.
They really did.
Yeah.
I mean, they made that a no contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At no point did you watch that game going, "No, the Bills got a chance in this game." Like once that game really got started,
Yeah,
and I mean, even the first drive for the Bengals, they just looked so in
looked clean.
control.
Yeah.
For the fact that it was a home game for the Bills in the snow,
Yep. And Allen,
they
just
looked
kept
like
getting
the visiting team.
worked.
They
like
looked
over
like,
and over again. He was just he was getting pressured. He would their coverage, Bengals coverage. He got coverage sacks. He got coverage pressure. He got. I mean, it was such a well executed game.
I think it's a stroke of genius that they wore their white.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I also think I think Burrow went like 15 passes before. I don't think he went 15 for 15 on completions, but he went like 15 passes
In a row.
that were like right on the money. Like
Yeah.
if it was dropped, it was not by
Right,
his
yeah.
throw. It
Right.
was that it was a snowy,
And that's
wintry
the
thing.
thing is I saw a lot of Bills players there, and I guess I wonder if this is because Allen's got such a strong arm that Bills players were dropping balls left and right because of the cold and the snow and the wet.
Yeah.
But that might be a byproduct of Josh Allen's arm strength.
Yeah.
Gunning
But,
it in
but
there.
they should be used to it.
They
Well,
should be used to it.
And
But
the other thing is when you look at when you look at that,
yo, Amanda, what's up? We missed you.
What's up?
when you look at these teams that play in the outdoors in the cold, it's these teams that excel on short yardage or running,
Right.
like when it comes to those types of games.
Right.
The Bills are not set up to play that way.
No, they don't.
No, they don't have a running back. They have their quarterback.
So it's
They-
like,
yeah.
but they're adamant on having an open stadium. Like they're gonna build a brand new stadium. Why are you not building a domed stadium, or at least an option for a domed stadium?
I get like they want the cold, but
They want to be
The
the,
teams-
Buffalo Bills.
but
in
the teams
snow and,
play up to you.
Yeah,
Like,
and,
it's-
and the team's play style. I mean, obviously the team play style can change with a couple of players. If you had a back like Josh Jacobs, if they picked up Josh Jacobs, I mean that would be a stout team at
That'd
that
be a great
point.
team. Yeah.
But they don't. They're not
What
a
they-
run team.
what they
and
need
for
is they need a
for
guy
a
that-
cold weather team.
You need a downhill runner.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
a guy that can punish somebody.
Yeah, and that team is just not built that way. They're built
No.
on these big plays, and in a snowy game, and that was a very snowy game.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it kind of paused for a little while, you could start to see some of the field, and then it got to a point when the field was completely white again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they
It
couldn't
was a
keep it
very,
enough.
very, very snowy game.
Yeah.
And that's just a hard to have any sort of a passing game.
Makes for a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
And it was a fun game.
But that was all because of the Bengals.
But
Yeah.
the Bengals, yeah, exactly.
Because the Bengals looked really good.
Like 100%. You guys will be going in as favorites to win your division next year. Hands down.
Yeah.
you're gonna
Unless we end up with Aaron Rodgers.
You guys are probably gonna be competing for a playoff spot easily. I think.
I think with the NFC
because the way the Cardinals and especially the Rams, they're
we don't know
fire-selling.
what. Yeah, Cardinals may be a shell of what they once were,
right?
And that's not even a good thing.
Yeah. I 100% believe, especially after how the Dolphins played, and if they can stay healthy, because they were hurt a lot, I think they're the favorite to win that division next year.
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
I think it all depends on their health, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It'll depend on what kind of free agent moves the Bills make.
yeah, if they,
Yeah.
I think if the Bills make a couple of big moves, or mostly if they can make an offensive line move, and if they can make a running back move,
There is a lot of free agent running backs coming in this year's class.
And-
So
I didn't believe this, but the odds on in Vegas, outside of the New York Giants to get Barkley, is Miami. How are we going to fucking afford that dude?
right?
I don't know, because he wants a Christian
16
McCaffrey
million.
like deal.
Yep.
He said he wants a Christian McCaffrey like deal, but he's like, I'm not set, and I don't believe I'm going to set the running back market.
Yeah.
So he's kind of in there.
Yeah, but him getting paid like CMC is not the same thing as resetting the market, right?
No.
I mean, so
And as good as Saquon can be, he is not Christian McCaffrey.
No.
right, and very importantly, Christian McCaffrey got paid like Christian McCaffrey and then disappeared for 2 years due to injuries.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I mean, but there's a lot of you have a lot of free agents on your team. Geno Smith, one of them. Dolphins have 31 players, free agents, but some are going to get franchise tags, some will get re-signed. It's just they're going to restructure Tyreek Hill's and a couple other people's deals so they make up space.
yeah, they'll figure out a way. I mean, like we always say this, that NFL contracts can be made to look like whatever they need to make them look like.
Do you think Geno gets paid and stays?
He's not going to make $30 million a year in Seattle. He can make $30 million a year somewhere else. And I'm okay with basically up to 25, but anything more than that is starting to hurt the team way too much.
It almost seems like it would be better if it was a lower, in the teens type of guarantees.
Yep.
With
With
incentives.
incentives,
Yep. I would love a $15 million a year or a $17 or $18 million a year.
Yeah, I was thinking
with
18
with
what my thought was.
$5 million on like a heavy incentive laid.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, if you make it to the playoffs and you win a wild card. Yeah.
He made $1 million in the last game.
Yeah.
Because he hit 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
And or it was the second to last game. By the way, the Seahawks NFL leading passer in a single season, Geno Smith.
Yeah.
He is outthrown Russell Wilson in yardage.
It's
That's
so
because we're on a
crazy.
worse-
It is so crazy to me that Russell Wilson never broke 4,000 yards.
No, he did. He just barely broke 4,000. But yeah.
But I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I mean is in the how many years? 8 years?
he was
9 years.
9 years.
But that was a whole they never let him cook type of
Well,
thing.
I
and then-
understand that, but he still put up
He led
touchdowns.
he led the NFL in touchdowns multiple times.
Yeah.
But didn't have the yardage to go behind it because they focused so much on special
especially when-
teams and run game.
Yeah,
right.
when you
And-
had Marshawn, that added it in a lot of that. I mean, because Marshawn was in that 1,500 yards pretty consistently for quite a few years there.
Speaking of your division, where do you think Jalen Ramsey goes? Because they're talking about trading him.
AFC. Back
Yeah,
in the
It's
AFC
not going to
somewhere.
be. Yeah, same thing with Rodgers. Rodgers, they said they will not trade him to an NFC team. They will trade him to an AFC team. And then Joe Namath came out and said that he'd unretire 12 if Aaron Rodgers came to the Jets.
I saw a tweet on that. It was Aaron Rodgers in a Jets uniform.
Just go ahead and upload it here, Amanda. Just go ahead and just type it right there, and I'll figure it out from there.
It was Aaron Rodgers in a Jets uniform, and it said, he just looks less talented in this uniform.
He does. Aaron Rodgers is he's got a season or two left in him because people aren't going to put up with his shenanigans. I mean, look, since the last time we had a show, he's come out and he's saying, I got another year. I can make an MVP this next year, easy, if I get the right team. And everybody's pointed out since then that he didn't say Super Bowl. He didn't say Lombardi. He said MVP. And that is pretty telling, right? I mean,
he did come out. I listened to the interview this last week, and they brought that up. And Aaron Rodgers talked about that, saying, because that part of the issue was that was a snippet of that interview,
right,
where he talked a lot about being a championship winning team and all that stuff. Prior to that, it was just that was the one little segment that was taken out in that. But he talked about the fact that if you're not striving to be the best in your position, you're not striving to be the best for your team.
Sure.
And when it's basically a quarterback award, he's like, if I wasn't trying to win an MVP, I'm not trying to win for my team.
See, and that's where I disagree. Because, and this comes back to the whole Russell Wilson thing. You know, if you want to have a winning team, and then most coaches will say that you need to have a balanced offense, right? You need to have run and pass. And if you have an elite quarterback that doesn't mind running 52% of the time,
Josh Allen,
then you're gonna have a championship caliber team every year.
Right.
Yeah.
And if Aaron Rodgers, I haven't run the numbers yet. What was Green Bay's drop percentage compared to the rest of the league?
Probably quite high. I don't know.
I don't know. It was it was a lot better in the latter half of the year when they were on their winning streak.
Yeah.
But early on in the season, there was a lot of drops.
Yeah.
And so my
I would say probably up to that like halfway point, I would say they were probably top 5 easy in drop percentage.
It'll be interesting to see how that happened, how that played out on the season. It's on the coach, it's on the offensive coordinator to put together a game plan that is successful for your team and all of its components. And if you can't pass the ball like they want to do, like they wanted to do with Aaron Rodgers, then you need to figure out a way to scheme plays that are productive. They needed to figure out a way to make the Shanahan offense where you can get Aaron Rodgers to make high percentage throws, and then unlock the running game, which then unlocks the long ball.
I will say, I mean, there was times throughout the season where Aaron Rodgers was talking about the fact that he wanted to see Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon more involved.
Yep.
And so I agree. I think there was an issue in coaching on the plays that were being called. Yep. And there was a lot of times where Aaron Rodgers was frustrated with the plays that were being called.
Yep.
Based on, especially towards the end of a lot of those games, where he was wanting to either go for it, or so they were either taking the safe, trying to get the field goals or whatever, and not willing to like try and push the ball in any way. But he brought that up numerous times with not having Aaron Jones, especially Aaron Jones, involved enough in game plans.
Yeah, there were a lot of times where Aaron Jones was getting 10 touches in a game, and that's not enough for a guy of his caliber.
No.
Especially when you paid him to come back when you had AJ Dillon.
Which I was surprised they paid him to come back. I thought he's going to go out the door.
And then to not utilize them the way that they should have been.
And in the latter part of the season, both of them were being used a bunch again.
Right.
And again, like you said, it goes to, was that all just purely a coaching thing, or was that the better passing opened up the run game, which obviously that does.
Yeah.
But is that all along the lines of the drop or what?
Right.
I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers had a couple of games this year where he was just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that happens with every quarterback out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Every good quarterback.
Josh Allen looked like shit in the divisional game.
Yeah. Okay. Because you sent me this earlier today. These two quarterbacks, both are free agents.
Hold on. You sent him something that you didn't send me?
I probably sent it to
in the group chat. You just didn't click on
it. I don't know where you're going with this. So,
where does Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson find themselves next year?
I did not see that text. If that came through in the
I did.
He said, you guys might have another quarterback. It's Tom Brady. He's building his mega mansion in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. He has been. It's like
that's been an ongoing thing
and
for years.
Giselle lives in Miami.
In Miami.
Yeah.
And he's touring private schools with the kids in Miami.
So that was kind of a story today because he was seen at a Miami private school looking at schools.
So it could also just be him retiring because there's no tax
or he doesn't have to retire down there. He can still go play in California while living in
I just had
Miami.
to send it because it was Tom Brady to Miami.
So
that would be really funny. I'd really like to watch you go through that.
Well, like I said, I was like, what happens again, because you don't read text messages.
Apparently not.
What happens if Tua decides
to retire?
Right. What was that guy that was for the 49ers that retired?
He's your linebacker.
Not Bowman, Chris Borland.
Yeah.
Played
really
like 2 seasons
player.
or 2 or 3 seasons.
Yep.
Looked phenomenal.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden was like, "Yep, I'm out."
I don't want to do it. I don't want to end up killing myself 20 years from now.
Like Junior Seau,
yeah. Or like Andrew Luck, where he was dealing with so many injuries and whatnot. And it's not even so much that he's dealing with like physical injuries; he's dealing with mental injuries.
Yeah. And he just had his kid, and he's married. So I don't blame him if he decides.
He's made his nut.
If he decides to retire, okay, cool. Like I was always your fan.
He could go on to do a lot of things.
So, like, there'd be a lot worse quarterback options out there than Tom Brady.
Sure.
Because that was what I said. I was like, if Tua decides to retire, would you be okay with Brady for a year or two?
You know what'd be kind of fun is to have the oldest coach in the league and the oldest quarterback in the league in Seattle. That would be kind of fun just to see that.
Yeah, that is old
guys. It's a bunch of old guys. It's all gray skies and gray hair.
So I watched a couple different shows this past week. They're talking about Lamar Jackson. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost 90% sure he's not going back to Baltimore unless they franchise tag him. I think they've kind of burnt the bridge because of how things have kind of turned out. Now, granted, he doesn't have an agent, so now they're telling him like, hey. Instead of like talking to an agent, one of the commentators made a good point. You're talking to the agent. Oh, talking to the agent, and then the agent kind of softens the blow to the. But instead, like now the team's talking directly to Lamar Jackson, like, "Hey, we don't think you're worth this." Granted, he missed the last 6 games last season, last 8 games this season.
Yep.
They think they're going to do a non-exclusive franchise tag. So he can go out and negotiate, and they have a chance to match it, or they get compensated for it.
Like the conversation with, was he actually still injured, or was he just sitting out? But then you had players like Marlon Humphreys coming out
he's limping around the
saying
facility.
he can't do what he needs to be able to do to be our quarterback.
And there's 100% legitimate case study.
Yo, Jen, what's up?
As to why you don't go out there and play injured, and it's RG3. He fucking ruined his knee, was never the same, and he's the same skill set as Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
So, what are your top 3 places he goes? He had said that, and of course they all somehow find a reason to loop it back to Miami. He is from Miami. He actually liked a tweet and said,
everybody that you read links it back to Miami. Everybody that I read,
I have seen it.
No, there was a tweet where someone made him in a Dolphins uniform, and he replied to it.
Did he?
I also saw one with him in a Washington uniform, which just looks weird.
I really think it's either the Colts, the Jets, and
I think the Bears. I think the Bears.
They send Justin Fields for. I mean, the package would be Lamar Jackson to the Bears for Justin Fields and probably a first.
I was gonna say
and they have the picks to do it. They have the first overall.
They have the picks to do it. They have the money to do it, and and they can call Justin Fields look, at this point they can say, look, we have established Lamar Jackson. Of course we're going to go get Lamar Jackson. We love Justin Fields. He's going to be great going wherever he's going to go. But for right now, we're going to, yeah. And I think that's the, whoa, what is going on here?
I don't know. So,
That's weird.
It's going to be a very, very interesting offseason right before the draft and right after the draft.
I hope so. I mean, this last year was a really exciting one, but
there's going to be a lot of franchise tags, but you also have absolute mammoth players moving this year where you didn't have a lot of that last year. There's some big trades like Tyreek Hill trade, like what the fuck?
Yeah, the big thing was like Tyreek Hill.
There was surprise
Devontae Adams
yeah.
and that sort of thing.
And Russell Wilson.
But this year there is a lot of free agent running backs.
Yeah.
And it'll be really interesting to see which teams go after who
and why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders need a quarterback. They're probably going to lose their running back.
Where's Derek Carr go?
I see Derek Carr would be fantastic fit in Carolina.
Think so? Okay. So
Maybe
problem is I have a hard time seeing anybody as a good fit in Carolina.
maybe Atlanta.
Atlanta, I think they like Ritter.
I think they like Ritter. I think they have to ride out Ritter for a year.
The Jets.
You do, but you don't. If you can bring in somebody like Derek Carr for,
Derek Carr to Tampa Bay.
I mean,
Derek Carr's not going to go to Atlanta and rebuild. That's
No.
the thing is
Tampa.
no, but they don't. I mean, they don't. I mean, technically, they don't need to rebuild. They have some solid
they
pieces.
have some pieces.
and they have draft picks.
Calvin Ridley get traded? I feel like he got
I-
traded to
Jags.
I'm so glad I still have him.
Yeah.
Because he is now on the Jags.
Yeah, that's going to be
which is probably a really good spot for him because you see what the Jags were able to do this year. If Calvin Ridley comes back and he can play
He's
at
sort
the
of form.
level that he did when he was with Atlanta,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's a huge upgrade for that receiving.
You know, I
core.
traded for. Do you know what I gave up for him?
I feel like you gave up something to me.
No, it wasn't you.
What?
I gave up Kenny Galladay
Oh, yeah? Nice.
for Calvin Ridley.
Oh, that's what it was. I was trying to get Calvin Ridley from you.
Yes.
That's what it was. I wanted to try and snag him from you. Snag it.
He was in a package, and then you declined it because I declined it because then he wanted a bunch of other stuff.
I always do. I always want more than it's worth. That's not that true. But I can't rape you, unfortunately.
No, I'm not rapeable.
I'm unrapeable.
Unless you say nice words.
Well, then it's not rape. And that's not my style.
Okay, you just take.
I want aggressive trades,
Okay.
man.
You said that. Like, would you just get just a little tiny raped that Seahawks get the Super Bowl this next year?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Tiny bit raped? Like Asian guy? Like that's
Like
not even
just the tip of like Diesel.
Vin Diesel? I
No,
feel like he's got a very tiny
no.
little-
He's the big black guy that has like I don't know. It's like bigger than.
Oh,
this.
the tip of that? That's a
Yeah.
softball. What are you talking about? No, that's not just a little bit
It's
raped.
it's that fruit juicer that I said on his TikTok.
That
the
is
other day.
Yeah.
that is irreparable damage to my anus. All right, like I thought we were talking about
Roger Goodell.
Ugh.
Oh, actually, wait. Russell Wilson.
I bet he's got a really tiny dick. Doesn't he seem like a tiny dick
Yeah.
guy? He's got tiny dick energy, that's for sure.
Oh my God, I need to show you this.
He's got a black guy body and a white guy dick.
I don't know that I want to see this. If that's where you were at,
No. No, he had sent me something in Twitter on a message, and I was like, I just had an idea. I was like, what if like we're talking about road trips or something like that?
Oh.
And I said, what if Scott gets a toilet bowl and his punishment is a 6-hour road trip with no electronic device?
I said I'm not going on that.
And I said, this is Scott in the back.
Yes, dude. Suicide. Like, oh my God. You guys look back and I'm just OD'd on heroin.
He somehow rolled his neck up into the window.
Just
gone
why
limp.
are you watching the show? You are not supposed to be watching the show, Emma. Especially when we're talking about softball-sized raping. Good God.
It's just a tip.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. There's a lot I would do for a Super Bowl team. Like Rick right now this year wouldn't do that much because he's already there. Like he's close.
Yeah.
You just got to make it one more team, right?
Yep.
So like you would like cradle the balls maybe. So I'd be like, like he asked what an anus was.
Can we mark this as educational now?
Oh my God.
This is a teaching moment.
Maybe in Afghanistan. I don't think we can post this anywhere else. It's a butthole. It's a butthole. Shame on your mom for letting
This
you listen
is
to
my
this.
no square. You cannot touch me there.
This is fantasy unclean.
Unclean.
And now Emma is forever unclean.
I really would love to see if there was some metric as to people who were disappointed because they thought they're clicking onto a podcast about all kind of BDSM or whatever.
Speaking of, you guys clean your butthole like when you're in the shower, right? Like you get in there and like a couple of fingers deep and just like
No.
how do you you guys not clean your buttholes at all?
Yes, there's a loofah or a rag that you fucking
Oh my
do.
God.
You don't just like shove your fingers up there.
So then Amanda just comes in. She's like, this is my no-no square.
You cannot touch me there.
So you use a rag. Do you have a dedicated asshole rag, or does Amanda come in there and she's like, I'm gonna wash my face?
We
today.
have separate bathrooms.
You have separate Okay, definitely.
That
for
makes
Deucing.
sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so there's no.
It's not doesn't stay in the shower. It literally like goes to the dirty clothes, like how your towel does after you're done.
So you do a new rag every day, or
Yeah.
a new butthole rag every day. That is so
it's a
much
loofah.
long- A new
And I
loofah.
washes all
That's
out, yeah.
so scratchy. Why would you? What kind of aggressive?
Because I have a
clinger on-
hobbit's ass crack. If you think their feet are hairy,
Oh my god, it's so gross.
Man, this is what happens when football's almost over.
So speaking of hairy assholes, how are the 49ers doing?
they do not have hairy asshole. They're like smooth like.
We're in the NFC Championship.
Christian McCaffrey has a very smooth butthole. I'm sure of it, but George
Fred
Kittle,
Warner does not.
George Kittle is like full on like I imagine the carpet matches the drapes in both color and quantity.
Fred Warner or
He's
Trent
got a ball throw. Is what
He's
you're
got a
saying?
ball throw for sure.
It's him and Trent Williams because you guarantee Trent Williams is not getting back there.
Do you think that Tom Brady goes to his center and says, "I need you to start cleaning your butthole more"?
No, he just orders them.
He orders
Yeah, that's
them
probably
to
true.
do that. Yeah.
Was listening to the New Heights podcast today.
Yeah.
And they were talking about somebody came in with a question of if you could get rid of one rule and bring in a rule, what would you do?
Ooh, that's fun.
Basically, Travis Kelce's was
Roughing the passer.
was getting rid of taunting penalties
Yeah.
and then bringing in being able to fight one time a game.
Like hockey.
Like hockey, you have an enforcer. The question now is, who is your enforcer on your team? So if two guys get into it, it then becomes the enforcers face off, helmets off, and it goes until it hits the ground.
Kickers.
Yeah, but who? I mean, you're gonna put your kicker up against somebody who's got their fucking defensive lineman.
The kickers earn their fucking keep.
I want Sebastian Janikowski, even in his current state.
I will
and
take
then it was,
Pat
and then it was
McAfee.
putting a
Thanks.
and then it was putting a penalty box in the opponent's end zone.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that way you have to be there with the fans.
You have to be there with the fans, and you have
for
to watch
2 quarters.
Oh my god, dude, that would be brutal. That'd be really fun. I like that.
So
You're taking a
the
back of
question is-
offensive
yeah.
linemen.
Yeah.
I think that it should be the. I think it needs to be a dedicated position, and I think it needs to be a dedicated position on the roster, on the depth chart. So, like, Devontae Adams is never going to be the guy because that's taking your starter out.
Yeah.
But your dedicated first left tackle versus their dedicated first
like Trent
left
Williams. Trent
Yes.
Williams would be a fucking great enforcer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody still signs Larry Allen just to come out.
Yeah, right. Exactly, dude. Yeah.
So you're 64, but you still bench 700 pounds.
That was
okay.
That
Cool.
was like as soon as Travis Kelce said that, Jason was all on board.
Yeah.
But then the question is why is it that hockey is the only sport where you're allowed to fight?
You're expected to.
Right. But that's the only one you're allowed to. Everything else it gets broken up.
Did I ever tell you the times I've been in 2 fights in ice hockey? One in each separate country. One in US, one in Canada. And they have different fucking rules. In US, you cannot drop your gloves. In junior,
Okay.
you could not drop your gloves. In
NHL, you can though, right?
you have to.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. Well, and then whenever we're going in tournaments,
everybody go.
yeah, even goalies are shaking off their gloves.
Right. It's the
Now, I did throw punch a dude
Henry
with
Cavill.
And the
reload.
Yeah, the reload. Yeah.
I did throw punch a guy with the end of my blocker once. That was fucking fantastic.
Which also, if you guys didn't realize, I noticed this the other day. If you switch, like when you're starting a game in Warzone, if you start a game and you're switched to just fists, you put your gun away, and then you
reload your arms. Yeah. It's sick, dude.
So, U.S. junior roller hockey or ice hockey. Roller hockey didn't allow it. Ice hockey, they do. Ice hockey, you have to keep now goalies, we never got in fights on that one,
Right.
really.
Honestly, because it's so much work to get out there.
But right, I end up punching a couple guys with my gloves on. But
Sure.
in there, they're talking rule sets of fight. You cannot drop your gloves in U.S. at least at that time.
Yeah.
When we went to BC,
Yeah.
there was you are ejected if you do not drop your gloves and fucking go bare fists on a fight. Like it's like.
I kind of like that because what that means is that you have to put your own skin on the line.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you got to put your bones on the line. It's
But
not
it's
just like
it's for a player, they just and their gloves are off.
Go.
Goalies were fucking strapped into our fucking shit.
right.
Yeah.
You guys are
So
not,
I'm like, he tried to get my jersey up, and I'm like, it's fucking pinned to my chest protector back here, and I
you're using that
Well, yeah,
blocker to
because
get
the rest of the
punch-
guys, they're not pinned.
no, my shit is
you
fucking.
you can fucking strip that over their
Yeah.
head, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so if you could pick one sport to add fighting to, again, one fight a game or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
If you could pick one sport to add a fight to, not football because we already talked about that. What would it be?
Golf.
I went immediately to golf because I thought that would be really fun to see these because there's such a wide range of people. Like
You could
end
punch a
up with-
fan. You could fucking punch.
You got 19-year-olds going against 70-year-olds, and they're both Masters champions.
Yeah.
And
Bob Barker style.
Oh yeah,
Bob Barker
right or
style,
wrong, bitch.
right?
One of the guys I used to work with, he's way into golf. He's won a couple. Like he's fantastic. I played with him once. He's stellar. And I had sent him a TikTok of just really fucking annoying guy. Like he was get up, waggle out the ball, back off, and just one of those just absolute like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And he sent me, he said back, he's like, how many holes does this take before you kill him? And I answered back, and he said, my answer, he said, with the what'd he say? How particular this answer was will go down in history in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I said, he is dying in hole 4. It's the farthest from the clubhouse, and he's getting stuffed in a drainage. Like, I've wanted to punch a couple people out there.
Sure.
I have had to break up a putter fight.
Nice.
When I was in California before I moved up here, these we called them the Billy Twins. They're just fucking. They're construction. They own a construction company. Mm-hmm. They're the size of a house.
Okay.
Super calm. You know, one of those sides like you are gigantic, but just kind of
Very
chill.
quiet.
Very quiet. Well, there's these two little tiny Italian guys that kept driving into him. And they called in. We went out and say, hey, he's like, we try to let them pass. They won't fucking do it. They just slow down, back up. And sure enough, coming down number 9, they drove into him, hit the top of the cart, and the guy turned around and hit the drive back at them.
Yeah.
And then they was on. And they came out with irons, so the twins took out their putters and proceeded to beat them into the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Like, I got out there just in time
To save somebody's
save
life.
someone, because one of them had him by the back of the shirt with his head and punching him in the back of the head into the ground.
Yeah. That'll happen.
I'm like,
God damn, dude.
like I had to pull a golf cart out of a lake. Like, a guy showed up half wet. He's like, I go, why are you wet? He's like, golf cart is in the lake. His excuse that it's in the middle of the lake is ants got in his face. Like, fucking shut the front door.
That's math. That's just math.
I had to call the cops on another guy, and then I had to use a defibrillator twice on someone out there. One survived, one did not.
You killed a guy with a defibrillator?
No, he had a heart attack, fell in the lake, drowned, and then we tried to help him.
You tried to use a defibrillator on a guy that was covered in water. That seems dangerous.
It's one of those.
Yeah, one of the strap things, and then
Yeah, you just push a button on the thing, and
then
then
you're like,
What's the worst could happen? He's gonna fucking die. He's not breathing.
that is the worst that could happen.
There's
yes.
no heart. Don't be jealous.
All right.
Bowling would be fun.
Bowling would be fun. I think that there are a lot of rule changes that need to come to baseball to speed up the game, to make the game more entertaining. And I think that a mandatory fight each game would do that.
My thought is basketball for all of the fucking flops.
Oh, I would love to see
Yeah.
LeBron James just popped right in his face.
Anytime somebody blatantly flops, you're allowed to punch them in the face.
LeBron James is going to get
There'd
punched
be a lot less flops at that point.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Oh, fuck. Jen, what are you doing? Fuck.
Electrocute yourself too?
Hey, man. That's for you to see. Ah! That's for you to see.
The fuck was what the hell happened?
Whose is that?
That's Jennifer. Sending me random ass shit all the time. Oh my god. You know what's worse about that? All the fucking gross ass toes. Jesus.
Do you think you
That's
can walk?
what you think's the grossest part of that?
Easily the grossest part about that.
Is that Tony Pollard's foot? That looks like is that the heel out the side, or is that part of his ankle?
That's the bone. I think it's a dislocated. Jennifer, correct me here. Is that a dislocated ankle? And then the bone is going.
And it's a avulsion fracture?
Slipped running down a flight of stairs.
Ouch.
Ow.
Oh no, that's,
I don't think I'm ever going down a flight of stairs again.
Right. Oh fuck.
I've gone down a flight of stairs the wrong way.
Yes, sir. With toes for your drum. Yeah. Right. So dislocated. Is that what you're saying? Yes, you're dislocated, and then but like
really dislocated.
Really dislocated.
Like, there's dislocated, and then it's like, oh, you dislocated enough that you ripped your skin open.
Right. That's cool, man.
That seems like an issue. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like, that guy definitely probably played golf.
Jennifer does this to me all the time. Really dislocated. Jennifer does this to me all the time where, like, out of nowhere, she'll send me just the random, most disgusting injury nurse photo in the world and then go silent on me for 4 months. And then out of nowhere, there's a new one for me. This one was a really good one. I'm actually really into this one. There's some
I'm
of them
kind of offended that I don't get those.
You will now. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
He's forwarding them.
Yeah, right. So like Jennifer says that she can see all of these injuries and be perfectly fine. Watching the injury happen is totally different.
Oh, yeah, you're like, you gotta turn
like I can't.
Nope.
Well, it's like anytime we're watching football and some nasty fucking thing happens with a knee or something. I can fix that.
I bet you can actually.
Did you ever watch the fight one where he goes to blow his nose?
I couldn't see that. I went through that. I think it was one of those that got
Deleted.
It probably got deleted. Yeah.
Oh,
he tries to
I
blow
watched
his
that
nose.
one. I watched that one where the guy had that water poured
Yeah.
over his head and his blood.
He went on to win that fight.
Of course he did, because
he goes to blow his nose, and his underneath his eye inflates.
Yeah, like his whole eye just like puffs up.
Because he's probably broke his nasal
sinus and like that.
Blurp.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the caption was, "This is why you don't blow your nose."
It's like when you pump.
my nose.
Yeah.
It's like when you pumped up your sneaker too much, and then you're like, pump.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Football.
49ers.
Yeah.
You guys are still in this thing. You
Yes.
guys are going up against Philadelphia this next week.
Yep.
Two juggernauts.
Philadelphia started out as 2-point favorites. 49ers are now 1-point favorites, I think, right?
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really close game. When you actually look, so we are actually better against against similar opponents this year.
Okay. Similar opponents to Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, if you compare the teams that we've gone up against, they're like, now, in 2 of those games, Jalen Hurts was not in. But we are averaging allowing 12 points. They're averaging allowing 19 points.
Compared to what, though? You're talking about against a mobile quarterback, or are you guys talking about a...
No. Like, the teams that we have gone...
common opponents.
Yes, common opponents.
Okay.
I think we've had 6 common opponents this year.
Okay.
In those games, Jalen Hurts was out of 2 of them, so we'll give you that a little bit.
But also, so was your starting quarterback.
Right. In all of those games, our defense has allowed an average of 12 points against those.
Okay.
They've averaged allowing 19 points.
Okay.
We are at like a plus 125
point differential in the season.
Point differential. They are a plus 20.
Yeah. They played closer games for sure. Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you're actually looking at what we've done compared to what they've done.
Much more stifling defense.
Yes. Also, what everybody's saying, like they have a better, like a lot of people are saying they have a better everything if you look across the board. Mm-hmm. Like they have a really good defense. Mm-hmm. They have a really good offense. Mm-hmm. They have a really good defensive line. They have a really good offensive line. Mm-hmm. This is probably the best offensive line my defensive line is going up against this year.
I would say so, yeah.
And they have the most sacks collectively as a team. I don't think any of those guys are individually as good as Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one to see how well Nick Bosa does against this offensive line.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jalen Hurts is that anomaly. Is his running,
his ability to move around, his ability to make those deep throws on the move to get out of it. The QB sneaks that these guys are running with him are just lights out on that. So
I mean that's going to be the thing is are we able to keep them out of short yardage on third and fourth downs?
Absolutely.
And do I think my team has that ability? Yes. Do I think that there's going to be broken plays where something happens? Yeah. Absolutely. I think that Jalen Hurts is going to be a very strong runner. The one good thing is their weakest point is against a run game. Last time I checked, we have a pretty good run game most of the time.
Yep.
Whether it's with our receivers or with our tight ends or with our actual running backs.
Right.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a fucking fight the entire way through.
Do you think what's the over-under on it? You know?
I don't actually
I'm going to say probably like 45.
I would say I could see this one being a fucking shootout, and I could see this one being a defensive just
like 21-17.
I feel like it's going to be more of a defensive game.
Yeah.
I think there'll be some like big plays on both sides, like where one team all of a sudden gets 60 yards.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have plays like that where D-Ball all of a sudden breaks out, or Ayuk gets hit with a good shot, or fucking Kittle bounces a ball around, makes a circus catch for 40 yards.
And then stares down the sky cam.
Philly is currently still the 2.5-point favorite according to ESPN. But is an over-under of 46. So
that's
it's fairly defensive game.
Yeah. We'll look at DraftKings real quick.
So basically they're saying 25 points for Eagles and 21 points basically for the
2.5 points Eagles on DraftKings right now.
Yeah.
I think that's gone back and forth a little bit. I think a lot of bets came in on the 49ers.
I'm driving it back.
And then,
Cincinnati's a 1-point favorite with an over-under of 47.
That was the game I think I was thinking of as far as the spread goes. I think that one was the one that started Chiefs, and then after the injury and after the performance they put up, that was the one. That was it. But I'm sort of the opposite in terms of this game. Now, I always lean to the team that's got the greater defense. You know, my football philosophy is defense wins championships.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have a high-powered offense, but if that goes up against a high-powered defense, it's not going to match up. And that's sort of the way I keep looking at this game, but I do see it going blow for blow for blow for blow.
And it very well might.
Yeah.
And it may come down to that one defensive play.
Yeah.
I think the Niners overall in the season have more takeaways. I think.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% positive on that, but I think at one point towards the end of the season we were in first for takeaways.
Were you?
Or tied for first for takeaways. We were basically in first on basically every metric.
Yeah.
I know we've dropped down a tiny bit in a couple of places, and we're in second in a couple of places. But I think overall our defense is still ranked number 1, and I think Eagles are number 2. I think.
Okay, so I'm gonna look this up here real quick, see if I can't figure it out. But go ahead and
Eagles have more sacks overall. Like I said, they're leading the league by team.
let me see here. Defensive. I don't want points. I want safety, defense, TD, force. Okay, so this is
so they're actually takeaways. They're 1 ahead of us based on that. Force fumbles is 10. We have 9, 17 for interceptions.
Fumbles recovered is 10, 9 interceptions. Okay, so yeah, so
so they have a couple more, but we have
you have an extra TD.
Yeah.
They
have 3 more forced fumbles.
Fumble recoveries are what matters most. So they have 1 more fumble recovery, and that's the difference between the two.
But we have 1 more touchdown.
Look at their sacks though. That is they're sack town, man.
Yeah, I think they have
they're number 1.
4 players that are double digit.
Yeah, they number 1 in the league on the regular season in sacks. They have 68. The next team, Patriots, have 52. Interceptions, they're tied for second with San Francisco. Fumble recoveries. Jesus. Neither of you guys are up there. You guys are in the middle of the pack there.
Yeah.
And then, God damn it. Oh, I'm not signed in. That's why. I was like, why am I getting all these pop-up shit? Defensive TDs. You guys are both up there with 3 and 2. Yeah. So, this. But
it's gonna be a
game.
I think they have better cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
We have better linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall they have a better defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have better defensive line players.
Right,
specific
so
players.
You've got one side is better than and since Nick Bosa, it doesn't have to go against all 5 of their linemen.
We haven't had Eric Armstead in all year.
Yeah.
And he is a big difference on the line.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that got arrested?
I don't even know how to say it. I don't even know how to say his name. Yeah, he's a rotational guy. It sounds like he's still going to play. Which makes me think that there's a lot more information out about that because Kyle Shanahan generally does not play around with that type of stuff.
It could probably, because California's one of those ones where, something minor might have happened, but they have to arrest him, so it's not.
Well, he was arrested on suspicion of something. He was not arrested.
So I'm assuming they probably did their own little investigation. They talked to the people and whatnot, and probably figured something out because, like I said, Shanahan and Lynch have never. They have never, especially. I mean, if it was like Nick Bosa and something came out like that, and he was playing, and be like, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But on a guy who's more of a rotational guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have some good plays this last week. So,
by the way, fantasy-wise,
We're fucking tied.
You guys are tied on defense. So
I'm
that's
really
pretty
surprised
cool.
the Patriots are up there.
Yeah.
Oh, because they had a couple games where they had a bunch of defensive stuff.
Yeah, they had touchdowns for days.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks, Jets.
I think they had one game where they had 3 defensive touchdowns or something.
Yeah, it's
Is that what it was?
Jets
Like a huge
and
blowout.
yeah.
Yeah. The number 1 defense on the league is rostered in 52% of leagues. Because
It'll be. I really do think it'll be a good game. It may come down to a turnover. It may come down to just whoever has the ball last more so than anything else.
I am rooting for the 49ers. I have Philly beating them by quite a bit. I have them beating them by a touchdown or more. And I think that I think that Shanahan can coach a really good team and they can elevate. I think that these Eagles are playing on a different level this year. And like I said, I always go to defense first, and I'm rooting for the 49ers because when the Seahawks don't matter, I root for the 49ers. But I think
I'm opposite of you.
yeah.
Because
Which is why I love this game so much. Because
I'm pulling for the Niners because I want my buddy's team to win. My no, if it's if Dolphins are still in it, I'm still pulling for you on your side. But if we match up, fuck you.
Yeah.
I think that there's something with the Eagles, and you've seen them play down, and you've seen them just get caught where it doesn't quite work.
No question about it.
I think it's going to be 27-24, and Niners, and I think they're going to have a defensive touchdown in this game, and I think that's kind of what's going to break it. I see. I don't know how the AFC side is going to go because that's fucking coin flip.
Yeah.
So point differential is on the season. San Francisco is number 1 at 173. Philadelphia Eagles are number 3 at 133 positive. Right. So both pretty strong. I think, and even your offensive points, especially at the end of the season here, San Francisco started putting up some points. But here is the difference, right? Is opponent points.
Yeah.
277 opponent points against San Francisco versus 344 against.
Well, in the last 48, quarters through the end of this game against the Cowboys, through the last 48 quarters, we'd only allowed opponents to score in 26 of them.
Okay.
So about half of the quarters, and that's the thing, is it's like, I feel like the Niners had a close game in the half against Seattle. They had a close game at the half with the Cowboys. Obviously, it didn't get, there wasn't a blowout.
Yeah.
But they controlled that second half.
Absolutely, they did.
I mean, they ran 8 minutes or 7.5 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter on that drive because they could.
Right. Because they absolutely just sheer will made it happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Mason, what's up?
I really do think obviously all 4 teams that are left all have a chance.
Yeah.
Obviously
at your house, I assume.
We might actually go to his house. Yeah. Because my wife's got to sleep that afternoon.
Why do you guys talk without me?
We don't.
We don't. You just don't pay attention sometimes.
I don't feel like I missed that many conversations.
That one I think was just in yours and
That may have
I's.
just been ours.
You motherfuckers! How dare you?
Oh, and
how dare you?
I have ribeyes from Omaha Steaks.
Yeah, what's up with the crabs? You still have crabs?
The type you eat, yes.
Excellent. That's also good.
Yeah.
Oh, that all started because I was asking Frodo if he had his girls.
Yeah.
So that's how that
I
conversation
said,
started.
I do. What's up?
Because I was gonna ask him that, and if he didn't, to see if we wanted to do something for the AFC and NFC championship games. So I
So is
asked
my
him.
house not good enough for you guys? Is that what it was?
We could do it here too.
I'm just.
We literally have no plans.
I am
Yeah.
very. It sounds like you guys have a lot of plans, and you guys haven't checked with me at all.
Well, which place would you rather have it?
I don't care.
I feel like
You guys
I feel like
finish the
he's-
podcast now.
I was up in there. I was like, just let me know.
Yeah.
Well, you guys do your own thing.
He switched the cameras.
You guys
So-
are fine.
So no steaks for him. I guess you and I can have the cookie to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can do whatever you guys want at your house.
Scott.
Whatever. Anyway, this is now the Sky Robley podcast, and
Can't have any of that cookie dough.
Yeah.
cookie dough. What? What do we got? What do we got going on? Cookie dough. What?
The stuff Amanda makes.
Yeah, the stuff Amanda
Oh,
makes.
fuck, that stuff's so good.
Yeah,
All right, I
but
figured
you don't
guys-
want to hang out, so
I do want to hang out. I just want. I don't want to have to ask to be invited. I want you guys to want to invite me. All right. I want you to want to do the dishes.
We just assumed you would just come because you're.
I always come. Emma, stop listening, please.
okay, Donald Trump.
I'm gonna come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do think that the 49ers have a legit shot.
Yeah, of course they do. They have a great shot at this.
I'm hopeful. I mean, fuck.
I like NFC to win the Super Bowl, regardless of which two teams those go up. I like either of those teams to go against either of the AFC teams.
If it comes, so the way I look at it, if it comes down to Eagles and KC, I'm probably rooting for the Eagles at that point.
Yeah.
If it comes down to Eagles and Cincinnati, I'd be rooting for Cincinnati.
Interesting. Okay.
I've always been a fan of Mixon.
Yeah, you've been riding that mixing train for a while now.
Yep. And Burrow's just got that like fucking
Swag.
fuck you
He's got
swag.
swag, dude. That dude dripping with swag.
Yeah. It's entertaining.
That is
And-
the
and-
blackest white dude I've ever
and-
seen
and
on
you
TV.
you also don't want to like. If it comes down to the Niners and Cincinnati, obviously I want the Niners to win. Of
course.
100%
Yeah.
want the Niners to win.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to see
I'll wear your
Cincinnati.
extra jersey. How about that?
There you go.
For in fact, even this weekend, if I'm invited, no, I'm not going to wear the jersey this weekend because honestly, the truth is, I don't think you want me wearing a jersey at all because it feels like a false idol.
Yeah.
and that's bad juju.
And that didn't work out for the last time you did
Dolphins,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I really am.
The
sorry
juju
about
was
that.
good on the first play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was very good on the
I
first
should have
play.
just taken off all my clothes like I wanted to.
So you're San Francisco, so Santa
Hey.
Clara, but
It would suck to make it to for the Bengals to make it to the Super Bowl twice in a row and lose both times.
if the Niners get there, they'd be facing either way, whatever team they're facing, one of the top two defenses again.
Yeah,
Right.
Because
I don't think KC will do what they did to the Niners like they did last time.
Right.
The Niners really fucking turned their season around after that game.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't lost since that game.
What was that? What week did CMC start?
Week 11.
What was that? That was before.
it was right before their bye.
Yeah, and it was before. I'm gonna look at you guys' schedule. All right.
So he was traded on October 20th, Thursday, October 20th. So whatever the game was following was his first game, but he did not start that game. It wasn't until, so it would have been.
I thought he did start the first game. I thought he started like on 3 days' notice.
He didn't start that. He played in it, but he did not start in that game.
How much? What was his snap percentage?
I think he was down. He was like 20%.
Okay, that doesn't count then. Okay, I'm with you on that.
So let's see. That was.
All right.
So he was traded he was traded the week after to them the week after the Chiefs game.
Yeah, so that's what I was wondering is where he. So.
Or no, it was right before he came in that week.
Came in at the Chiefs. That's what I thought. I thought he came in to play against the Chiefs, and he only played 28% of his snaps.
Yeah.
That week, and then
he officially started the following week.
Thank you.
I also think that was partially because I think that was the same week that Jeff Wilson was traded out.
Yeah, to the Dolphins. Yeah.
I think we're not live anymore. We're still recording? Okay. Jennifer says please don't, but I don't know why. Weird. Let's just continue to go live again. Let's confirm and go live. We back bitches again. I don't know why that's whatever. Our recordings will all be fine. I don't know why that happened.
I wonder, was it because you went off of the screen? Shouldn't do that.
Oh, no. No, that didn't do it. I don't know. Whatever. We're back. Yeah, I think. So KC and Bengals. Who do you guys have? It's basically a coin toss in terms of.
It all depends on how healthy Mahomes is. I still side Bengals because they're 3-0 against them.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's part of the thing is like that's being brought up a lot.
That they're 3-0.
They're 3-0. I feel like it's gonna be Cincinnati, but like I've been saying after the game that I thought Cincinnati was gonna take it, but the closer we get, the more I'm thinking that like this is gonna be the game that KC.
I think KC's got this one. I think that they're gonna put it together. I think the Bengals are a good team, and when they're on fire, they're on fucking fire.
They had KC basically had that game won, and then Travis Kelce like fumbled at the end of that game,
right?
Which led to them being able to come back and drive for the win. I don't see that happening again. I think Travis Kelce is going to be out there, and he's going to be trying to be.
I think everybody. I think. Look, the number one paid or the top 5 paid quarterback hasn't made the Super Bowl in like a billion years, and part of that's a
AFC Championship 5 years in a row, though. Jesus Christ,
dude.
Like,
yeah,
like that team is.
They're good.
They're
really good. Patrick Mahomes is really good, and it's not just him though.
And even like last year great. When they like into week 4 they were like 1-3 or whatever, and then they just fucking went on a tear.
Yeah.
And the fact that this was the first year that since they've started that Patrick Mahomes had lost a game in December.
Yeah.
That's fucking bananas.
Right. And
BANANAS.
Yeah. So I think I honestly think KC puts it together this year. I think they're going to be in the Super Bowl this year, and I think the NFC team, 49ers or Eagles, are going to beat KC this year. And because I don't think that those guys can go up against a great defense.
I hope so. I hope it's if it comes down to that and it's KC and 49ers again, I don't watch my player miss it by just a little bit because of an overthrown ball.
Who's your quarterback in the Super Bowl this year?
Not Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, there's a possibility.
I was going to say,
Garoppolo.
Who's your quarterback?
I swear to God, if it's Jimmy Garoppolo and he comes in and plays like garbage,
he can't. Why is Purdy hurt?
No, but they keep talking about
because Garoppolo's healthy.
Fuck Garoppolo. Ride the fucking horse that got you here.
Yeah, Shanahan has been talking about this, mostly because I think it keeps getting brought up at this point, but keeps saying that there's an outside chance. Like, he was saying there was an outside chance he'd be ready for this game, but he may be available for the Super Bowl if they make it that far.
Where he should be.
If he comes in and fucking like plays like shit and is like overthrowing people and whatnot, I will lose my goddamn mind.
Yes.
I will lose my goddamn mind.
His career will be over. I think Jimmy Garoppolo does not want to start in the Super Bowl.
No, because he played really well for him up until he got hurt.
Yep. And then now if Brock Purdy goes in there and loses the Super Bowl, he's not supposed to win the Super Bowl. That's not a big deal.
Right.
If Jimmy Garoppolo goes in there, replaces the Mr. Irrelevant, and loses the Super Bowl because he overthrows everybody every time, all the time, then he's done. Game over, man.
Yeah.
So if Jimmy Garoppolo starts the Super Bowl and loses this year, I don't think he gets a contract next year. If he plays bad and loses.
Yeah.
If Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't start the Super Bowl, next year he's making $25 to $35 million a year.
Possibly.
So for like Carolina or
Colts.
Yeah.
It would be like the biggest fucking Cinderella story if Brock Purdy goes from the last pick to the fucking Super Bowl MVP.
Dude, I would love that. I don't think he'd get MVP, but
he might,
to touch the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah.
As the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be a record. That'll be an unbreakable record.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever do that again.
I don't think there's been 5 rookie quarterbacks to make it to a divisional round or a championship round. I don't think any of them have made it to the Super Bowl.
No, Marino was one of them. We know how that went.
Yeah. And before this, no other Mr. Irrelevant has ever
because usually
scored
like
a touchdown
kicker or a punter or someone
in the NFL. Scored a touchdown, not quarterback.
Scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Period. Any position, any player.
Yeah, he was the first Mr. Irrelevant to
score a touchdown. And he scored 17 of them or whatever it is in the last couple of weeks. And now he's
in the final 6 games of the season, he put himself into being. Now, the thing that's frustrating is he's listed as being the starter for 6 games, but he played 7 fucking games.
Yes. Yeah, he played in the Dolphins game.
Yeah, because he went down, or Garoppolo went down in the first fucking drive of that game.
Yeah.
So
was it the first drive? It was the second.
No, it was the first drive. It was the first drive.
Oh.
You guys scored that quick touchdown, and then they marched down the field, and it was when they were in the red zone that he got tackled, and then he threw a touchdown.
That's right. Okay.
To Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And
that
so
game started
he wasn't the starter in that game.
Yeah. But he played 95% of the game.
Yeah. So in the 6 and a half games that he played, he put himself into being Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and
contention.
Easily.
And if anything, because his actual eyeball, he's not a great quarterback. His actual statistics are on par with every Shanahan quarterback that's ever played for Shanahan. So that's good. I mean, that's good coaching, that's good scheming, that's all of those things. Brock Purdy is not going to be a starter next year on any team. He'll be a backup for a lot of teams, but probably for the 49ers. I don't think Trey Lance is going to be the starter next year.
And I would assume so. If he comes out and if he comes out and plays fucking lights out in against the
Purdy?
Eagles, and then plays well in the Super Bowl.
But plays well for a quarterback, or plays well for, or can he manage the game? Is he going to go out there and is he going to Jimmy Garoppolo his way into a well-managed game?
I get that. I don't know. I wouldn't say that he is the same game manager that Jimmy Garoppolo is.
I think Purdy is more of a game a playmaker than
Baller.
Jimmy is.
The rolling out of the pocket on some of his plays where he keeps a play alive,
absolutely,
to then still get a pass off, and a lot of them are actually pretty nice passes.
Decent. Yeah.
is not something that Jimmy Garoppolo ever did.
Nope.
Jimmy Garoppolo panic-footed in the pocket.
Yep.
And if he couldn't make a pass and couldn't dump it off, he was getting sacked.
Yes.
And he would always throw without his feet planted. So it was
and then there was the play at the end of, I think it was the end of the Washington game. No. Cardinal game. End of the Cardinal game, where Brock Purdy got tripped up, rolled out of the pocket, and then hit Ayuk perfectly in the end zone that should have been a touchdown. And it was like one of those Mahomes type plays where everybody goes fucking nuts for it. But Ayuk actually dropped that one, even though he doesn't normally drop that type of pass.
Right, no shit.
I mean, to the point where he went over and threw himself on the bench, fucking pissed off at himself for it.
Yeah.
Because that was an elite level play from Purdy to escape.
That's a highlight reel play.
Exactly.
If Ayuk makes that catch.
Exactly.
And Ayuk dropped it.
So I feel like the movement that he's able to do, the fact that he'll still make a pass when he's got a giant fucking dude chasing him down right in his face. Sure. Garoppolo never did that. He tucked the ball and would get sacked.
Yep. I'm 100% with you that if your two quarterbacks next year are Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy's your starter.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is
if we use Trey Lance the way we have used a Brock Purdy,
absolutely.
Trey Lance would still be on the goddamn field.
Yes, I absolutely 100% agree with that. And
we don't need the designed runs up the middle with our fucking quarterback. There's no need for it.
Right.
Let him do a fucking QB sneak if you want to.
Yeah.
Don't fucking run him up the middle.
Make him Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Don't make him Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
And
make it where, hey, if you don't have anywhere to go with the ball, then you move.
Cam Newton is the poster child for a mobile quarterback that is sent up the middle and sent into contact over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen's headed down that path.
Yeah.
I hope not, but yeah, you're right. So this week, my prediction, based on who I want to win and who my money is on, that's important for you. San Francisco and Chiefs. That's who I've got.
2019 Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah.
Bengals, Niners.
It's a toss up for me between the Bengals and the Chiefs right now, but I do think the Chiefs are
toss up for literally everybody.
It's true.
Yeah.
I have to have faith in my team right now, so it's not a toss up there.
Right. No, I just meant that everybody in the Bengals and Chiefs is a
100% is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it'll be a Super Bowl rematch from 2019.
I think
I really do think it'll be at this point.
And I pray to God that Jimmy Garoppolo is not starting for you guys.
Yeah.
I want a completely different outcome than 2019.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That was heartbreaking. Watching that pass just sail Sanders by just a few yards.
Yeah.
When we were in the lead in the fourth fucking quarter of the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And just watching everything fucking crumble, and I was that was rough.
Yeah.
That was
rough.
It
was. I mean, not as rough as my Super Bowl, last Super Bowl, but I get it. It's not
true.
But
because you guys had that fucking game won.
My team's last Super Bowl, I was 3.
Good news is, you weren't upset by it.
No.
Except for that the shiny colors on the TV turned off.
I probably wasn't even
through the
we probably
window.
even watching. I don't honestly have no idea how I got in football. None of my family likes football.
Really?
Apparently, I just saw the Dolphins helmet, liked the Dolphins, and it just...
Probably saw Ace Ventura, and you were like, I fucking love this team.
I was like 10 when that came out.
Okay, when did you start watching football?
I remember I asked for a Dan Marino rookie card when I was 7.
Yeah. You can get one?
Yeah. Santa.
Do you still have it?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Nice.
How much is that thing worth?
Not as much as you think.
Really?
He needed that Super Bowl.
He needed that Super Bowl. Yeah.
Well, the older cards like that, they didn't print as nicely, so a lot more. This one's slightly off center, but I don't care. It's one of my chairs.
Right. It's your chair.
Yeah. And in case kids are, Santa Claus brought me
To you, that's one of those priceless gifts.
Yeah. It's like I passed it on to my daughter. Was when I was 1. I don't remember this. My grandma gave me a Curious George.
Yeah.
And that was what I slept with as a kid.
Yeah.
And then I gave it to my daughter, and he's still fucking. I mean, minus the fact that I ate his eyeballs off when I was little. My mom re-sewed like X's in place.
Oh, good.
Fucking
so
still
dead.
together. Like that.
I mean, if you got your eyeballs,
Yeah.
you're probably not surviving that very well.
I have all Marino's rookie cards up to like 1989 because then they got way too many.
I had a Babe Ruth card for the longest time, and I don't know where it went, but I got it from my grandpa, and I loved that card. It was not a valuable card, but it was a.
You should probably find that.
It was like a 70-year-old card. It wasn't a 100-year-old card, right now, but it was like a 70-year-old card. It was very cool. And
I have a 1987 box set, like a big ass box set of MLB cards that are still unopened.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Huh.
I would really like.
Have you looked up the value of that? Just an unopened box like that? I wonder what that would be.
I'd really like.
You stop doing any of your unboxings.
I'd stop. It was getting expensive.
Yeah.
I'd really like Trey Lance to come back. So my
Your
cards
rookie
would
cards
go back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? All right.
Did we go over what our tallies for the season were?
Yeah.
All right, hit me up. I want to go inside and take a piss, so. Did I win? I hope I won.
So, finishing scores 118, 119, 121.
Whoa. Okay. All right, hit me up. 118.
Me.
Oh,
Yeah.
so sorry.
And with 121.
Hey, good luck right here. Right here.
Oh, wait. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. My bad. That was wrong. 126, 127, and 130.
Okay, so 126.
Yes.
That was you?
That was me. 126.
Okay. All right. Boom, boom. Close up.
With 130. Frodo T. Baggins.
Fuck.
Dude. Fucking 11 on the last week.
Did you really?
And you had 6.
I had 6.
What'd I get right?
All
All of
them?
Oh my god. You had a 2-point lead going into the last week.
Oh my god, and you took a 3-point lead over me.
Damn.
And I was 3 points behind you, and I ended 1 point behind you after the last week. So in the last week,
God, I had a bad week.
in the last week, Scott had 6, I had 8, Frodo had 11.
I demand a recount. I demand a recount.
I don't even remember what we picked.
Yeah, nobody remembers. It was
Yeah,
fucking weeks and weeks
you
ago.
had Atlanta over Tampa Bay.
They covered the spread.
Yep. We all had Buffalo winning. We all had Minnesota winning. We all had Cincinnati winning. You had Detroit beating Green Bay.
Bingo.
We missed on Houston versus Indy because we all had Indy. That didn't happen.
No.
Good.
Scott got Tennessee over Jacksonville because of the spread. We all got Miami. Frodo and I got Carolina over New Orleans. Frodo and I got the Giants over Philly based on the spread. Frodo and I got Pittsburgh over
Cleveland.
Nope.
See, I demand a recount.
There is an adjustment here.
All right. All right, I'm back in it.
Because Frodo had Cleveland and Scott and I had Pittsburgh on this one.
All right, you son of a bitch.
So that is actually 129 to 128.
Okay, keep going though. We got another one coming. I can feel it. I'm going back through this, baby.
We all missed on Dallas.
Except for me.
Nope.
No, we all missed on
I
Dallas.
got that.
You took Dallas?
Yeah.
No, I got that
They
game
lost
right.
to Washington.
I don't even remember this week, dude. I don't fucking know who won.
We all missed on the Chargers beating Denver.
Wow.
Frodo got KC because Scott and I took the spread with Vegas. We all missed on Seattle.
We also did think that Derek Carr was going to be the quarterback for
Yeah.
Vegas, to be fair. All right, go ahead.
We all missed on Seattle
Yep.
because of the spread.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all got San Francisco over Arizona.
Sweet.
And
Congrats on second.
the other thing is the Buffalo and Cincinnati game wasn't played, and that could have forced a tie.
Fuck.
Because you had Buffalo and Frodo and I had Cincinnati.
Fuck.
Judging by how their playoff game went, I think I
had
think I
Buffalo.
feel pretty confident.
You had
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
But in
I'm
all
gonna go ahead and say you guys won
fairness, that game, Buffalo looked good too.
Yeah.
So
Right up until that guy died.
Yeah. They killed it.
yeah.
All
So final score, 126.
Man, I really wanted to be repeats.
126, 127, and or 128 and 129.
So
Frodo, you got-
126, 128, and 129.
Yeah.
Wow. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Way to make the comeback. Too
All
bad
right.
it wasn't on parlay.
What I really like about this every year is that we always end up so fucking close to each other.
Yeah.
And I had this last week I had 7 and you had 10.
Yeah.
11.
And-
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
10.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and-
7.
7 and 10 and that took the lead.
Yeah.
If I'd have gotten one more game right that week,
Yeah.
fuck man. I really do like this one. We're gonna have to do this one but betting next year. We'll figure out how to do that. I think that'd be really fun.
Last year, it was $100. I think that's what we did last year.
Speaking of that, real quick.
Oh, do we have season? No, what we did for this year for that was we did the
It was gonna be
that was
the-
our pick,
Yeah.
our order. But we didn't do postseason fantasy.
Yep.
So we had some early bets. Fantasy finished between Tua and Justin Herbert.
Okay, so give me a second
Yeah.
here.
I think Herbert took the edge because Tua was out.
Yeah, so let's
We did, in all fairness, we did say whiskey bottle for overall finish, barring injury.
Yeah.
So
give me a second. So
They are pretty close to each other.
let's go 20, 22, regular season, QB, thanks, and what week did? Well, fuck it, we'll go a full season.
Tua went out Christmas Day, so was that
yeah, let's just see what the
yeah.
overall finish was.
Is that right? So season, all QB 22 regular. Okay.
Herbert's
Justin
right
Herbert
there,
was 11. Tua
Tua's
was at 15.
But 13 games compared to 17 games.
Yeah.
So what week did Tua finally go out?
Tua was out week.
Yeah, he was out for 3 games in the middle of the season.
So let's go. But
He went
without
out
that.
week. He played week 1. It would have been
Yeah, so he was out the last 2 games.
I think he
last
was out the
3 games.
Last 3 games.
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just go week 1 through
I
15.
think. Yeah. Let's see, it'll tell you.
Tua.
At ball. No.
I think this is just showing week 15.
that's
Oh yeah, this website's kind of weird.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's showing Justin Fields as the number 1. Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
42 points.
That's
Oh,
Well,
you're
oh.
on game.
your
Switch to season.
But it's week 1 through 15.
Yeah, but you're
But
looking
you're
at
on
game.
game. You need to click season.
Yeah.
No, but game is how you get 1 through.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
All right, regular. We go week.
It's just pulling like the best player.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
It's the best
Yeah.
fantasy finishes that.
Out of all of those
Yeah.
weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess you're
Yeah,
right.
see, because the top 2 are against Miami.
Yeah. Thanks, defense. Looks like we're trying to get Vic Fangio for our defense, which would be fantastic.
Okay, so what if we do? What if we do this? All right, let me go one more thing here.
And just go
Can I do
team.
points per game? Fantasy points per game,
Yeah, that's still not good.
and then this is on the season though. So fantasy points per game. We've got
Tua.
Tua, Justin Herbert.
Yep.
So fantasy points per game, Tua's got a pretty good egg. So who was that bet for?
It was for a whiskey bottle.
Yeah, it was between Frodo and I for a whiskey bottle, and that was barring injury. So
Yeah, so we'll call that one.
you guys did have a bet between you, and it was a top 10 finish for Zeke.
Oh, I said he wasn't.
I
Yeah.
don't think I got that, did I?
There was never a prize decided on this one either.
Oh, okay. So I assume it was Chris Pie 5.
So yeah,
I mean, Pollard's there.
Yeah. 17.
17.
yeah.
Damn, 177.
A moral victory.
Yeah.
we did have a.
I feel like we had an NFC West or an NFC or AFC West bet.
We did.
Yeah, I lost on this one.
I would have been the closest
Yep.
because I had KC, Vegas, Chargers, Broncos. Scott, you had Chargers, KC, Broncos, Vegas. Frodo, you had Broncos, Chargers, KC, Vegas.
Yeah, so nope.
Nope.
We did have, now this one kind of sucks because Cup went down, but we did have a finish for Cup, Adams, and Hill.
As which one would end up the best?
Yeah.
I think I took Hill probably.
What?
I probably took Hill.
You took Hill. I had Adams. Scott had Cooper Cup.
Let's check it out.
Tyreek Hill's number 2.
Yep. 3.
Yeah.
By 2 fucking points.
Wow.
Damn,
That's
dude.
close.
Damn.
And then Cup, where'd you end up?
He went out early.
He went out.
He did go out early.
24.
24th.
24. There it is, yeah. All right, so let's go points per game. Cup.
Oh, nice.
Cup.
Hill.
It's
and then
1
Adams.
point or
Point one.
point one.
Yeah.
0.1 difference there. And Cup had a 1 point.
Yeah.
difference. All right. So I guess, so fantasy points on that one. Who won on that one? So Hill. So
Hill
Frodo won on that one by fucking 2 points. You dick. I guess I get a waiver on that one because my guy got injured. So Rick, you owe him a blowjob, I guess.
No, we had a top shelf whiskey on that one, but I feel like that one, because
Are you gonna call that one a draw? Is that what you're
I
gonna
feel
do?
like it is because of the fact that Cup had more fantasy points per game.
I think no matter what, you end up losing though. So
Yeah.
I guess you owe us a
No.
bottle of whiskey.
No.
How about this? I think you and I owe him a whiskey on that because either way, you lose or basically I win on that one. Is the way it works. Is I'm the best.
Well, I'm pretty sure after he went down, also the starting quarterback went down. So I think the Rams pretty much sucked the rest of the way through.
It's true. We
Yeah,
were
so
not
I
very
think-
good at tracking our.
No, I think that
We
was
didn't do a
all
lot of bets
we
this
didn't-
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we really didn't have.
We got to
that
do
many
better
bets.
about that next year. Got to get more bets.
Yeah.
We got to do actual betting in terms of.
Yep.
You know.
We should just put a whiteboard back here so it stays up here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a great idea. I think
Yeah.
we'll do that. Or just fucking draw on the wall. Fuck it.
And
don't wanna
we'll
buy a
fucking
whiteboard.
put our bets to bets.
Yeah.
Bets to bets.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like our bets amongst us.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
place those as bets,
Yeah.
fantasy long bets.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take that. If we figure out
Figure out a way
do
to make it a fantasy long bet.
that. Yeah. Well, it's hard to do that because we all would have lost in terms of this one because Justin Jefferson. You can't
True.
put him compared to somebody.
We got to
else.
figure out a way that we can
Yeah.
at least make a couple season long bets.
Yeah.
It'd probably be like you can pick you can
We
do
can
at
do
the
the-
beginning stuff like passing, like a passing leader or receiving leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But I think we should do actual bets next year. I think we should come into it with, whatever amount of money, put it into our pot.
The good news is Scott's going to be trying to figure out how to sleep still.
That's
Yes.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that also means having to be up in the middle and,
And
I fucking
it's
doing
not-
numbers,
It's
man.
did you ever tell your wife about the idea for the ring bear?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Yeah, she was down for
Oh,
it.
sweet.
Nice.
Lord of the Ring Bears.
Yeah.
Already found a cloak.
I got to hold 2 babies today, and that was pretty awesome.
The
Fucking
ring-
like all about babies right now.
Did you steal some babies?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just left them there.
Give me if you give me a couple minutes, I'll give you a handful of babies.
Nope, I am not falling for that. All right. All right, boys. We will see you guys next week, and then we will be back after the Super Bowl. And that'll probably be our final show for the season.
Because Scott will be gone during the Pro Bowl.
And there's
luckily enough, it's an 18-week season, and you're not gone during the Super Bowl this year.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. That would have fucking sucked. So we will see you guys.
What week do you leave?
Next week. What?
You leave next week?
The following weekend.
The first week of February.
Yeah.
I think the second or something like that.
Okay.
I'll be back Saturday.
So we'll be able to talk Super Bowl matchup and all that shit.
Yep. So we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, okay?
Early.
Peace.
Won't miss Rebirth.
Later.
Later.